Welcome to the Market Update. We're at a business in the Lowertown Neighborhood. I'm excited to share who am I here with and where are we at.
Hello, my name is Brooke Burch, and you are at Brooke Burch Custom Sewing.
And Brooke Burch Custom Sewing, let's start from the very beginning, Brooke. Where did this begin, this entrepreneurial journey for you?
Wow, that's a really long question. I started doing alterations out of my apartment probably about 12 years ago now, kind of straight out of college, and just kind of expanded via word of mouth. And I grew a lot, especially during the pandemic when sewing was really needed at that time for mask making. So I kind of switched my production to mask making, and I met a lot of new customers that way. So that's kind of how my business grew post-pandemic. Then I started renting space from a friend for about a year, and he taught me how to rent and grow my business that way. I was able to start teaching group sewing classes, and now I'm here. So I have my large space studio where I teach sewing. I have a vintage clothing boutique, and I'm still a working seamstress. So those are the three main parts of my business now.
So we're in the newly renovated Vintage Rack. Share about what this part of your business is.
Well, Vintage Rack got started also in my apartment. And yes, I was selling clothes out of my apartment. People would book appointments to come in, and it was just a really fun, immersive experience to experiment with your fashion sense. So we still have that same vibe now, except for we've expanded. We have a lot more clothing and accessories to look at. We have artwork to look at in here. A couple weeks ago, I put my plan into place to start renovating. I knew I wanted paint on the walls. It was just a matter of committing to it. And telling myself not to do it myself and to get someone to do it for me, which was a really good idea. Yeah, because I got a good professional in here to paint this, and it looks perfect. It looks exactly the way I wanted. I bought new racks so that the clothing was more visible and accessible and easy to look through. And it's just this beautiful explosion of, I guess, what's in my brain 24/7. So I just want people to enjoy clothing and experience it as wearable art.
And one thing I really appreciate is how you're getting other creators, other artists in the community to be able to feature some of their work. So like talking behind us here, what is on this rack that has room for even other artists?
Yes, there's more space. So before, this was just my accessory area, and that was fine. I had all my jewelry on it, but it wasn't the easiest thing to see, and it wasn't super captivating. So I wanted to bring some outside art in, particularly in the space of fiber arts, and there's a huge umbrella of what fiber arts consist of. That could be anything made of fabric or yarn or thread or some sort of fibrous material. So I've got some artwork up here by Cassandra Buck. You might know her because she is the owner of Clover and Rose Boutique right near Forager, and we have just grown in our friendship over the years, and she has also started experimenting more with her artwork. So she's a classically trained artist, and she has been doing a lot of mixed media work over the last few years. So I was excited to highlight some of that. And then we have here Lydia Hansen, and she does a mixture of work. She brought some wearable things, so she brought some jewelry accessories, as well as these little froggy trinkets, which she says can easily be turned into keychains.
Cool.
And then making these really cool plant ideas. I thought it was so cute to do these plants that won't die.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 'cause
right?
I definitely can't keep mine alive.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
So they won't die, and that's great because I have a hard time keeping plants alive too. So she wants to bring fiber arts to nature. Kind of making that connection between nature and these 3D objects that you can enjoy. And then we are going to have artwork from another artist named Jennifer Jessif, and she, I think, was a 2D artist, drawing and painting at first, but then branched into fiber arts. So she's been working a lot with yarn, and she likes to do portraiture. So she does little yarn faces and things made with fabric scraps. So she'll do flowers and trees out of fabric scraps, and it's a really good way to use up your fabric scraps. So I just appreciate things like that because they take a lot of thought, a lot of intricacy, and awareness about the environment. So that's kind of what I want to do with any artwork that I bring into my studio, or have any educators come in. I want them to kind of be fiber arts based.
Yeah,
so.
and have a place to feature it, which is so great.
Yeah.
So great. So let's also talk about the two other sides of your business. So being a seamstress, what that entails, and then also your classes, so people understand what you're teaching here in this wonderful space.
Yes. So I just wrapped up my summer term for teaching. It was an 8-week term, 1 class per week. I have students of all ages. So that's one thing that's really special about my classes, is they're not age-based. You are in there with people of different ages, so it's multi-generational. So, you know, you could be a 40-year-old woman sitting next to an 8-year-old sewing and working on the same project, and you're going through that same process. You have a different life background when you're going into the process, but you're all learning the same thing. So I think that is a refreshing thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's someone that reminds you of your grandma or something. Or having teenagers in your classes and remembering what it was like to be a teenager. So it's really nice to bring those people together. I have people of different races, genders, ethnicities, everything, and they feel comfortable in this space, I'm told repeatedly, and they keep coming back for more, like a lot. So I have a lot of advanced students now.
Fun.
Yeah, so I have a lot of newcomers in, but I have a lot of people sticking with me for years because they feel safe in this space with me.
And then when it comes to the alteration sides, what's kind of a common item you're altering, and what side of the business has that turned into?
So I started my business with alterations. So it was 100% alterations at the beginning. I would be sewing for 14 to 16 hours a day. Yeah. So and by myself in my apartment. So it was very kind of a secluded thing. So I'm really happy to be in an open space with windows and people can just walk in. And keep me company, which is great. So I don't sew as much as I used to, but I still sew because I think it's important as an educator to know what's happening in your craft. So I still practice the craft so that I can continue to teach my students.
I like that a lot.
And I've gotten some really nice jobs lately, just because of the people that I know. I've gotten some higher end custom jobs lately, and that's really what I want to do, hence the Brooke Burch custom sewing.
Yes.
That's kind of where I want to lead. I don't do as many alterations, but I do from time to time. So
very neat.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the Lowertown neighborhood. We've seen a lot of just improvements in this neighborhood from new businesses like Janky Gear. You have Sacred Heart Studios right nearby.
Yeah.
You know, for those that can't find it, how would you explain where you're located?
Okay.
And then also where they can follow you online. I enjoy following your Instagram. So like, where can we find you online if you want to learn more?
Well, I am just off Broadway on 9th Street Northeast. So if you can find the tattoo shop, Sacred Heart, you can find me. My sign is purple. It's got my name on it. Yeah.
I love it.
It's kind of funny though. People are like, "What is this place?" I'm like, "It's Brooke Burch Custom Sewing." And they go outside. They're like, "Oh, okay."
There it is.
You gotta look up. But you can also go on Instagram. I have a couple Instagram pages, so you can follow the Brooke Burch Instagram page, or you can follow the Vintage Rack page, which is vintage_rack_ on Instagram. So those are the main places that I am. I'm all over Facebook. I'm all over Facebook. We'll just put it that way. You just type my name in, you'll find me. I've got a profile. I have a business page, so you can reach me pretty much any way.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I have a website too.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, I've got brookebirch.com, so you can still check that out too. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Brooke. It's really cool to watch your entrepreneurial journey, just coming into this space, continually improving it. Thanks for all you're doing in this community, and keep up the great work.